Unfortunately, for the many Americans that are struggling amid the global pandemic crisis and counting on a second round of stimulus checks, more articles are coming out with negative headlines. Here is a Forbes article that came out on June 4th. The article says, if you're counting on a second stimulus check, you may want to reconsider. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said, the next stimulus bill will be the last stimulus bill and it will be smaller than the CARES Act. The article adds, those who support a second stimulus check have argued that more than 40 million Americans have applied for unemployment benefits. The pandemic has caused economic and health devastation. The first stimulus check did not provide enough financial support. The first stimulus check did not reach enough people. While those who have opposed a second stimulus check have argued that the economy has improved since the first stimulus check, a second stimulus check costs too much money. A second stimulus check is not targeted enough. Stimulus checks are not necessarily the best way to stimulate the economy. The article also mentions that Republicans control the Senate and will have the final say on whether a second stimulus check will be included in the next stimulus bill. Here is what some Republican senators have said about a second stimulus check. On the Senate funding a second stimulus check, Senator Mitt Romney responded, it's unlikely. Senator Lindsey Graham said, I'm not enthused about another round of rebate checks. I do believe we should be helping people on Social Security because the price of food has gone up and I don't see any end in sight. Senator James Lankford, describing the situation back in March, said, at the time, the country was entering lockdown and the whole world was scrambling to slow down the spread of the infection. He also added, I don't think we should set up a situation where we're doing a check month after month after month. On the positive side, the article mentions that most Democrats and the White House have indicated interest in a second stimulus check. The White House is also floating a proposal from Senator Rob Portman to pay a return-to-work bonus as an alternative to extending $600 a week unemployment benefits. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Senator Ron Wyden has proposed extending unemployment benefits until the economy improves. So, what about $2,000 a month stimulus checks? Former presidential candidates Senator Kamala Harris and Andrew Yang renewed their call this week for you to get a $2,000 a month stimulus check. While there has been growing interest in universal basic income, the Senate won't support this legislation. However, that could change if Democrats win the Senate or the White House or both after the November election. At the end, the article mentions that the final stimulus bill will be drafted by Republicans and the White House with input from Democrats. Republicans will need at least some Democrats to support the final legislation before it becomes law. Of course, despite current indications, it's possible there will be a second stimulus check. However, the Senate made it clear that there are other economic stimuli that may take precedent over a second stimulus check. Here is another new article that came out on as.com. The article explains how much money you can get under the HEROES Act. Up to $1,200 each, $1,200 per dependent. Like the CARES Act, individuals earning below $75,000 a year would be paid $1,200, and individuals making anywhere from $75,000 and up to $99,000 annually would get a check for a lower amount, depending on their exact pay. Married joint tax filers whose shared income is below $150,000 would get $2,400. However, while the first round of payments included an extra $500 per family for every child aged 16 or under, the HEROES Act would up this credit to $1,200 each for a maximum of 3 dependents, allowing households to claim up to $6,000. It's also worth noting that, unlike the CARES Act, dependents aged 17 or over are not excluded, though the article does not forget to mention that the HEROES Act faces an uphill battle to get through the Republican-controlled Senate in its current form, with both the White House and Senate Republicans branding it dead on arrival at the upper chamber. That's all for this update. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get all future updates. Thanks for watching.